This is a School TV original.
Yeah.
Yo, my nigga Manu Ginobili up there, he gonna come on the beat though, but we gonna reserve him because that's a secret weapon right there.
We always show out every fucking time we come. it ain't nothing new. It's always a show.
Let's keep going, man. Let's go, man. Cause nobody gonna say I'm whack on YouTube. Yo, we have my son Gerard ready to perform. We about to spit some bars. Now I just wanna thank you for coming through. Now, man, I got the pen for you. Yo, we here with my boy Kevin, aka Kevin 11.
What's up? AKA Kevin 11.
Oh, no problem.
Quick question.
Oh no, you go ahead.
Why you call him Kevin 11?
Kevin 11, because he started reading when he was 11, correct?
Yes, sir.
Ah, see, I still remember.
I
I remember. You know, I gotta do my research on my artists, man. I got love for all my artists that come to my show.
For sure.
Now, this is a phenomenal poet, and he's also a book publisher. Now, I met this young man at Summer Essence.
Yes, sir.
Avenue Music Group is the people that produced this event. Well, not produced it, but hosted this event.
This is where they kind of like usually like get it wrong. It was a dualistic hosting between FloweredConcrete and Avenue Music Group.
Okay.
Right.
And no, but yeah, so that's pretty much what we did. You know, it was a team effort, teamwork event. You know, and we kind of, brung Avenue Music Group in, although it's kind of like, it's usually thought that's the other way around. But no, it was a good event though. I mean, it was great collaboration in general.
Absolutely, it was phenomenal.
Sure.
Now, just talk about yourself a little bit briefly before you get into your brand.
Right.
Awesome, cool. All right, so government name Kevin Anglade, but when it comes down to writing, I'm a book publisher. I write books. I produce books. I'm an editor as well. I go by Kevin 11. Been reading since age 11, so Smooth. He's on point. He's a historian. He's a historian. He got that on point. And
he got his resources.
Yeah,
together.
he got his resources together for sure. And when it comes down to this poetry stuff, I go by Kev 11. Just clip it.
Yeah. Absolutely. So now, where people can find your work?
Oh, definitely, most definitely. So where people can find my work in terms of me as an artist, they can go on my webpage. That is www.booksy.com. Book as in book, BOOKSIE.com/Kevin11. Not 11 spelled out, just 11.
Well, I'm probably gonna have the stuff at the bottom of the video like I normally do.
Right.
All right.
Support the real though.
Appreciate it.
But Kevin, not to interrupt you, but what was one of the main things you like to talk about in your poems?
Oh man, thank you for asking me. The way I would cite my poetry is like a variety of like a whole bunch of stuff.
Right.
I would say it's just like bits and pieces of different things that we deal with in society like today. Like for me personally, I would say that I'm very introspective. I definitely like to talk about my life and the things I've been through.
Right.
Although it hasn't been anything drastically crazy, but just being a young black man in America,
Right.
And also due to the fact that now I'm 23 and I've gotten to a point in my life where I consider myself to be socially aware with things that are going on in society. And
Right. You mean like current events and stuff like
current
that?
events, and as well as events that are historically set into the past. So I would definitely say some of my stuff are also social conscious as well.
Oh, right.
So in that most deaf, Black Thought, Talib Kweli.
Okay. So it's deep,
cool.
like conscious.
It can get deep and get really conscious, but I could also switch it up and just be fun and just keep it just
And
straight.
keep people entertained.
Yeah, and entertained as well.
Okay.
For sure.
Anything comical too? By the way.
I wouldn't necessarily say that in terms of my creative writing, but from my my poetry, the way I consider my poetry, I feel as if it could just be me going out on a limb here, but I feel as if I'm clever with the pen. So if you can catch a certain reference and things like that, I think a lot of people can definitely see me as comical and funny.
Definitely. Because at Summer Essence, you know, you hosted an event. You did a phenomenal job, by the way.
Thank you.
I mean, the only you had only one little slight problem. I mean, your shorts was just kind of high. That was cool. It's cool. I'm just having a little fun.
It's cool.
Now, cause he had to reference it when he was hosting an event. What were you saying again?
What you call it? I did a freestyle at first.
Yes.
Like, to open the show, I freestyled to open up the event. My sister, she was the DJ that night, so I told her to just drop a beat. I mean, the event was a poetry event, all a cappella, singers, rappers, poets.
Yes.
But I told my sister to just drop a beat, and I
You freestyle poems, or you freestyle?
No, I freestyle off the top of that. I go off the top of the dome.
Like rhyming?
Yeah, right.
Yeah, he was
I go off the
rhyming.
top of the
Oh
dome.
wow. Well, poetry is the same
It's the
thing.
same thing.
Oh,
I
wow.
consider my poetry to be hip hop poetry because I don't really go in that natural aesthetics as regular poets. So I would say it's hip hop. But yeah, I just go off the top of the dome.
But do you write music as much as you write poems, or no?
I write music a little bit for some artists and stuff like that. But as far as me being a conventional rapper, I don't really say I do that per se because I like people to listen more so to my words than music.
Right,
But I'm a big music fan. Don't get me wrong.
Oh, okay.
No, but what I said was these are short shorts, but I am not queer.
Yes, short, but I am not queer. And he repeated it almost all night too. I mean, no, at least for the whole freestyle session.
Definitely.
He repeated that several times. He had to let everybody know.
Definitely.
I know these shorts kind of high, but I'm still the man out here.
Exactly. That was the whole purpose. And you know what's funny about that? What's so funny about that is that I can tell to some people like I look goofy because they don't really see that hipster kind of fashion a lot.
Yeah.
But it's like, yo, bro, like this dude is wearing short shorts, you know what I'm saying? He got his snapback on, so he got his loafer. He's cool, but at the same time, he's, is a little eccentric, a little weird, but at the same time, it's like, but bruh can spit, so, you
can't say nothing.
What can you say? You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So with FloweredConcrete now.
Yes.
Tell us about your brand.
Sure, no problem. FloweredConcrete, just like smooth radio, smooth TV. FloweredConcrete was conceptually created back in 2012.
Wow.
You see, I think in 2012 we was all on one. We was just like trying to get our lives together, just like what we gonna do with our lives. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, definitely.
I think that's what it is. But yeah, 2012. At that time, I was 21, and actually the day I had the idea for FloweredConcrete was June 16th, 2012, which was Sunday, Father's Day.
Wow.
So it was really funny how that all came together. I was just in my basement, doing what I had already been started doing at that time, which was writing fiction novels or just like short stories and things of that nature. And I was like, man, what I write is not really going to be promoted or pushed out by the general consensus of a public going through the traditional route of trying to find a literary agent and then all that other stuff that you got to deal with to just even get the legal way. I was just like, man, I did my research first. I made sure I did my research 2-3 months in advance just to even get the whole criteria together. I was like, yo, the self-publishing game is no guarantee at all, but if you do it the right way, you could, just like independent indie music artists, you can make a wave. You can make some noise. So I was like, let's go for it.
So what genre you say that you write the most?
Oh, the most? Okay, I wouldn't limit myself to a particular genre, but I would say right now, detective fiction.
Detective fiction. That's interesting. That really takes a lot of creativity.
Yeah. Why you choose that?
Oh man, it's crazy. Detective fiction. I would say detective fiction because how it all started was that a few months prior to that, back in the fall of 2011, I was still, it was my last semester at Queensborough.
Mm-hmm.
I was a theater major, visual and performing arts, because I acted first. That's what I did first.
So you acted a little for a while.
Yeah, I'm an actor as well. Yeah, so I acted first, and while I was I just took that, the creative writing class was a detective fiction class. I just took that elective, just to graduate. Right. And when I started taking it, I was just like, man, I don't write, man. I could write the crap out of an essay, but I don't write.
Not what you do.
Yeah,
like
I don't
writing
do
books.
Yeah, I'm not creative. I'm not a creative writer, like you said. So I told my professor, I said, yo, I can't do this. I was like, I could probably give you like a page or two. She was like, no. She's like, don't you ever say that. She's like, the moment you say, everybody has heard this, but the moment you say you can't do something, you just won't do it. So she was like, take the pen and just write, and I'm not going to grade you as hard as I would of a professional writer. I understand you guys are just a bunch of students. I was like, all right, cool. And then as I read a few detective fiction books that were pertaining to the course, I was like, yo, I really like this type of writing. Now, and not for me, for me per se, not in any way or any sense do I like the legality system and just the whole things going on with just police and cops and stuff like that. But I like the whole suspense and the thrill of a mystery, and I think it's cool. But the way I have my little spin on it is that with my mystery pertaining to my detective fiction books, I always put little different things in there that can actually like teach and enhance your brain.
That's great. So basically, fuck the police, but you know, detective work is cool.
Detective work.
I mean,
You know.
I mean, at the end of the day,
Yeah.
detective fiction is just another source, an avenue of entertainment. Because when you think about it, we support detective media in general. I mean, when you go out and you see Rush Hour, you see Bad Boys 2, you see that. I mean, you're supporting detective work. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Yeah.
So we're protesting against something they do, and then we'll go watch a movie of
Right,
this, you know what I mean?
correct.
Or a show like Law and Order or
Exactly.
something
Most
like that.
certainly.
Right,
You see
right.
what I'm saying? So, yeah, that's
Good.
Well, you know, it's kind of, well, all right, Bad Boys 2 and Rush Hour, it's kind of different because those are comical.
Those are comical.
Yeah, like those are comical
Those are comical
films.
ones.
Bad Boy was
but
still
they
coppish.
they
though,
do have
Yeah.
their moments though in some
Yeah.
sense where like, you know, it can get serious for a minute.
Serious,
Even
right.
if it's for like 30-40 seconds, and
Right.
then one of them, like, whether it's Chris Tucker or, you know, Martin, just switches up and be funny, you know what I'm
Yeah,
saying?
you
they'll
know,
have
those are
those
fools
moments.
right there. Those are my
fools.
guys.
Those are my guys.
All right, so you talk about going into another artistic realm. Now, what realm is that exactly, or do you plan to do?
Oh, okay. Well, what I meant by that in terms of going into another artistic realm, I meant just as a writer.
Yes. Oh, okay. As a
Yeah,
writer.
as a writer. I mean, I guess that could apply to everything that I do, but I would say just more so as a writer, because don't get me wrong, detective fiction is cool, but what I currently have right now, I have my first book out, Tales of the 23rd Precinct, which was published last year, but that's going to be well, it is a trilogy, so we have the second one dropping next year, next summer, June, July, you know, something to read for when the kids get out of school, you know.
Oh, okay.
And then we'll probably have the third one, maybe like 2018. Trust me, I have everything planned in advance. That's how
Wow,
I work.
that's
I work
phenomenal.
4 or 5 projects in advance.
So you ahead.
I'm ahead, man. I'm trying to be. So with that being said, once I finish with that third book, the only way I probably come back to it is if something calls me to write something else, or if I really miss it. But besides that, I'm just trying to get into another artistic space. I just published a short story on my Booksy account on my webpage called "Pressured: Another Hood Story," and that's kind of like pertaining and relates to like. It's referencing, but it's a modern day version of like Juice, Men's Society,
Oh,
Boys in the
okay.
Hood.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so I
Can't
dropped
wait for that.
For the younger
it's out, it's
generation.
out.
Oh, it's
You
out?
can read it on my
Oh, it's
webpage.
out?
Yeah.
Really?
It's
It's a short story, or
it's a short story. But it's split into 2 parts though. I think both parts are like 25, 28 pages each. It's not that long. It's like
Oh
53
man, I'm
pages.
definitely,
not bad.
man,
Yeah,
I can't
definitely
wait, man.
check
I really
it
gonna check that out.
It's called Pressured: Another Hood Story, and it's set in Oakland, California.
Oh, cool.
Because I feel as if Oakland, I mean, you know, we always heard about, you know, Juice, you know what I'm saying, in Harlem, and we got, you know, Men's Society, you got South Central, you got LA. So I felt all those areas, and I felt as if Oakland, you know, which is another, you know, poverty-stricken, crime-ridden city, doesn't get
Right.
talked about.
Yeah,
And
not as much.
Not as
right.
much, and it also has a lot of history too, in terms of like, you know, the Black Panther Party and the Revolution.
Absolutely.
Well, that's deep. I can't
deep.
even get into that.
Right. But,
Shout out to Too Short too.
Yeah, shout out to 40, all those
Yeah,
guys.
Can't Rico G. Fuck wrong with these niggas.
For sure. So with that being said, you know, I think if people read Pressured, I think it's so great in its duality sense where if you're just reading it, just be like, yo, I'm a hood dude, I just want to see if the story speaks to me, you could read it on a surface level sense. But what I was really trying to do with it is, although there's going to be a lot of ignorant moments, which you would expect with gun violence and things like that,
Right.
there's literary elements and devices within the work that shows you that I'm trying to teach you something. I'm not really trying to glorify this in a certain sense.
Absolutely. Have you been to Oakland though?
I've never been to Oakland.
No,
and
you've
you know
never
what's
been to Oakland?
I've never been to Oakland. And you know what's crazy? You know how I wrote that?
Yeah.
I believe that if you're truly an artist, everything you do must pertain to your research. So with that being said, I literally 4 months straight read books about Oakland, Google Maps, everything, wrote things down. I'm crazy when it comes to like planning things out, and I just literally mapped everything out to the point where I knew the Oakland streets as if I was actually there.
Really? So when you you should go on vacation to Oakland.
Yeah, you
I
should.
plan on doing that eventually within the next 2-3 years. I really do. I'm dead serious too.
And you should just walk around the streets. That would be crazy.
That'd
You
be
get off the
crazy.
plane
Yeah,
and then you just
Definitely.
walk. Know where you're going. Know what
Definitely.
restaurant you're going.
No,
And promote the book too.
Yeah, I literally like learned it, and not even just that too. Like, I took certain places, like certain grocery stores for like, you know, robberies or things like that, where I actually went online and read, you know, 2 kids or something, whatever, were shot this day at such a time at this. And I'm like, oh wow, let me use this spot. You know,
Wow,
it's a big
phenomenal.
place for violence. And you know, I just want it to be true. I mean, I don't want to disrespect them in any sense. So I want to be true to their story. So if they read it, like, yo, all right, this kid know what he's talking
You
about.
can relate to
Wow,
it.
that's
It's
phenomenal.
their story. It's their story.
Do you
Yeah.
ever get bored with writing?
No.
Or
No.
what about topics?
No, good. That's a great question. That's a perfect question. When I first started writing, I definitely must admit I got bored with writing because I wasn't used to it. Because at first I thought it was fun when I just did it for class. I was like, oh man, I'm just being creative. You know what I'm saying? I'm trying to get this A. I'm figuring this out, whatever. But then, you know, as time progressed, I was just like, when the class was over and I was just like, okay, this is on me now. If I really want to do this, I couldn't get into it right away because like I have a very short attention span. Like it takes me, like if I'm trying to focus on something, I really have to be locked in. If not, I get bored easily.
Yeah.
And also with my background coming from acting, which I had done for like 8-9 years prior, I was just like, man, all this stuff that I have with my acting is, I feel as if like I can't even use it. But then I just realized, no, you can use it. You know what I'm saying? You can just,
I mean, as far as the experience?
As far as experience that, because what you can do is when you develop your characters, you know, you can give them different elements and you can actually get to know your characters. Because as an actor, a lot of people don't credit actors as much as they should. Because when I see an actor and I see a damn well good actor, an actor truly gets within and invests within the world of the play or the movie or whoever the character is. You have to embody that. If you cannot embody that, you will not see a Oscar-winning
good performance.
Yeah, exactly.
You got to become the character.
Of
I remember
course.
Brian Shaw was saying that as
Of
well.
course.
You got to become the character.
That's
But
what it's all about.
since you don't really get bored with writing, do you ever get writer's block? Because I'm a writer myself.
Yeah.
I write music, but I sometimes get writer's block where I have to come back to the record
That's what it's
like
all about.
a day in advance or something.
Now that's what
like
it's all about. You got to come
Yeah.
back to it. For me, writer's block works differently in terms of which realm I'm doing it. If I'm writing a script or a screenplay for like a short play or like a movie script, it's something kind of like where you just gotta write it and then kind of like just just wait until something just triggers and like you said.
Yeah, like give your brain some time to
Some
like
juice.
rejuice, right.
And the same thing for a book, I would say more so. As far as me as a poet, what I do is, the only time I write, I know people who just write a new song or 5 new poems every day. I can't do that.
Yeah.
If I'm not inspired to write something, I won't write. Like I could literally go 4 or 5 months without writing anything, whether it's poetry
See,
or anything.
I
believe-
can't do that. See, it's different for me. I can go a day or so without writing, but it'll bother me that song is not completed. So I have
feel
to
you.
come back
I
to it.
respect it.
And then it's crazy. The crazy part is you'll be writing, and then your brain will just be blank. Like I can't think of nothing. Then the next day it's just working freely,
Right.
and then it's just
Right.
easy.
It's easy,
for the
right.
thought to come on. I don't
Right.
even have to think as hard as I was yesterday.
No, that's
You know
cool.
what I mean?
man.
Now
That's cool.
I understand where you're coming from, where you don't understand how people could just write. Because I feel like if you keep on doing it, it's gonna dilute your work. Because it's
Yeah.
like you're writing. You know, sometimes you need to be passionate.
Yeah,
I believe you lose the
exactly.
passion when you do something too much.
Right.
That's why I also stopped writing, and
Right.
I learned to memorize and voice record myself. So I
Right.
started doing voice memos,
Awesome.
and to save energy from the writing. Because you get bored. I mean, I got tired of writing after a while.
Okay.
Between being in school and then writing rhyme, go back to school, gotta write another rhyme.
I
So
feel you.
it's like, nah, let me try something different.
And that's what you see. Like me, I'm like the 2010 post version of Drake in a sense where like not in terms of skill level, but in terms of like everything's on my BlackBerry.
Oh, okay.
Oh, okay.
That's where I put all my stuff.
Wow, that's phenomenal. You still use BlackBerry?
No, my actual phone is a LG Android touchscreen, but I have a dummy BlackBerry. I
Oh,
just
okay.
use.
Oh, so that. All right.
Yeah, yeah.
I see what you're saying.
My dummy BlackBerry is for me to write like my lyrics and my poems and my rhymes, and also to write like future projects in mind. Like, yo, bro, I kid you not, I have like 4 or 5 projects that I plan on releasing. Like one of them probably won't even get released till like 2019 or 2020.
That's
Ooh,
Like,
you
I'm
think
insane.
you're in a
Got
So,
to.
so all right. So
you're
just
in the portal already.
yeah, he's in the time portal. So just share with us your future plans and future projects before we let you get out of here.
All right, awesome. Like I told you earlier, when you was asking me what do you take more seriously, I take everything seriously.
Yes.
But I would say what I'm really trying to push forward more than anything is FloweredConcrete, as you see right here, which is
Oh wow, this is
first book.
phenomenal.
Yeah, So which is the
Yo,
first.
Flowered
book?
Concrete,
You
yo.
made a book out of it
You
too?
see how
Yeah, man.
you see them out of
Y'all can
here.
pass it around. Y'all can pass it around.
Oh, this is you at the back?
Yeah, man, that's me, man.
Oh,
My
man.
lead art director did that, Alton Taylor.
Yeah, man, you got your little Spike Lee swag. I see
Yeah.
you out there.
I appreciate it, man. So so that right there, Tales of the 23rd Precinct.
Yes.
You can get that on Amazon. You can get that for how much you can get on Amazon for it? $6.60. So, but you know, when you probably order it and it comes in through the mail, probably come up to like about $9.50, $10.
No, I'll definitely buy one to support you.
Oh, this
For
is
sure,
dope,
man. And then my lead
I'll
art
definitely buy
director.
one.
I can take a look at this too. Alton Taylor. This is his graphic novel that we also published through a brand. Because remember, I told you we have 3 books out.
Oh,
So that's
wow.
what he put out. Y'all can pass everything around. You know, although we're a publishing brand, we got to go to different sites that cater to our needs. So we got this done through a graphic novel site called Lulu. So that, if you want a ebook, you know, like e-reader version of it, like on a tablet, you can
Yes.
get that for like $5. But if you want a physical copy, you know, physical printing money, color money, so that's probably like about $20.
Wow, this is phenomenal.
Wow. Do you, like, out of all the books you made, right, and published, do you have a favorite book of your own?
Alright, so I keep it funky with you. I mean, in terms of what we put out, we've only put out 3 books for the brand in general, right? Me, I've only put out 1 book. Just 1 book. But I have a plethora of short stories, like I said, which is on my Booksy
Right.
account page, and there's probably like 8 of them.
Oh,
But
okay.
if you really want to know my opinion, I think the best thing that I ever written was that Pressure Joint. I think
Pressure Joint?
that
Oh,
hood story, I think that's
Yeah.
the best thing. I mean, it's the most recent work too. I think I really took it to another level, because even one of my my former high school teachers, she read it and she said, yeah, she was like, you found your voice. She said, you official now.
Oh,
I was like, I
man,
appreciate
that's
it.
cool.
And
That's
for
cool.
a former teacher to say that to you,
Right.
that makes you feel,
It
you know,
enlightens you, though,
right.
on what you're doing.
For
right?
sure,
That
for
you're doing
sure.
the right thing. That's good.
Definitely.
So who inspired you to start writing?
To start writing, oh man,
And who's your favorite writer?
oh man.
No, I didn't know what to do. Double.
Okay, all right, let me get down to it. Who inspired me to start writing? I would say just literature itself.
Really?
Just
Just the love.
the love of reading, because I have such a voracious passion of reading books that I think just reading itself is just something that's inspired me in general, just to
Absolutely.
give stories. And as far as who's my favorite writer, I don't know if you guys ever heard of this guy, but I don't know if you ever heard of Richard Wright. The
I
guy who
heard,
created
I heard,
The
of,
Native
I
Son.
heard of that name. Before.
Richard Wright.
I didn't read his book before.
Okay,
but I
okay.
heard that name.
Yeah, his book, Native Son, my favorite book of all time, was when I was 20 years old, almost about 3 years today from like back then. The autobiography of Malcolm X, man, tough,
Oh, wow.
tough, man.
Oh, wow.
When I read that book, that totally changed my perspective about life, about, you know, people in general, and just changed me from just being a little boy to like a young man. Like, that really,
Yeah,
you
that's
know,
phenomenal.
yeah.
But
But
made you grow up.
that's what made me grow up for sure. But you guys are invited too if you guys will come out. You know, if you're not busy.
Oh,
that
I'm
night.
sorry. We didn't
Yeah.
get to talk about your events.
No, it's cool. It's cool. It's just one last event for the year.
All
But
right.
I really don't want to talk about it. I just want people to just come out and just like see what it's
All
about. Just show you this real quick. November 29th, Saturday, November 29th, Thanksgiving weekend, between 4 to 8 p.m. Be out in Bed-Stuy, Brooklyn, House of Art Gallery. We have an event, FloweredConcrete and Metaphorical Minds. The name of the event will be called The Tales of the Stolen Youth, and basically what it's about, we got a bunch of poets, and well, not a bunch, but like 5 or 6 of us, poets and rappers, basically spitting stories about, you know, the ghetto life. So it's all a thematically conceptual narrative-based event. So, you know, people will probably be talking about gang violence, you know, abortion, rape, drug addiction, domestic violence, things of that nature. So, you know, so basically in a sense, you know, think like Kendrick Lamar, Good Kid, Mad City, things of that nature.
Right.
So we want all our poets and rappers to like really bring their bars, but make sure that it's a story.
Story. Okay.
Artists, you know, hit you up to perform.
Oh, everything's already on lock. We got all our artists set in. We got the construction and the logistics of the event set in. We're just waiting until like a month in advance to start promo and get this ball rolling. 'Cause like I said, I like to work it.
All right, say no more, man. That's going to be a phenomenal event. I know, and it's right down the block from the Brooklyn Swirl.
Yes,
Where I met Kev, aka Kevin 11.
Yes,
I
sir.
love that nickname,
Sure.
Kevin 11.
yes, sir.
All right.
408 Marcus Garvey Boulevard. But yeah, I'll spit a poem for you right now.
All right.
Yeah,
So
sure.
he's going to spit a poem for us, but we're going to take you out right now.